Thank you, Chair Sanders, and to the rest of you. This committee has jurisdiction to tackle a broad range of issues facing American families. And we're not always going to agree on the course, but we have the opportunity to have a good faith debate and meet where we do agree. And there's a long history of bipartisanship. Thank you, former Chair Murray, for us to live up to. First and foremost, we need to return to good governance. There is an extensive list of authorizations set to expire this Congress. It's important we fulfill our responsibility to get these reauthorizations done and done on time. The committee has also let authorizations lapse for a laundry list of bills that continue to be funded through the appropriations process. The money goes out the door, but we aren't checking to see if the programs are working well or could be refined or improved to better serve Americans. Chair Sanders and I have had a couple interesting conversations. One thing he said is he likes to spend money, but he doesn't want to waste it. If that is the ethic of this committee, we will be doing our job for the American people. For example, the Higher Education Act has not been reauthorized since 2014. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act lapsed in 2020. Now, previous leaders of this committee hit snags trying to get this finished. I don't suggest it's easy, but we should do our jobs and work to get current on our authorizations. Child care and financing of student loans, two issues sure to come before the committee. I just heard that. Both are far too expensive for the families that have needed them and have only gotten more expensive as federal funding has been made more available. There is going to be bipartisan interest. If we choose to take it on, we must end the cycle of throwing money at problems and work to address the root causes that make education and child care so expensive. One example, President Biden's student loan cancellation policy, now before the Supreme Court, is estimated to cost taxpayers $400 billion. Now, this is on top of the student loan repayment pause, extended 6 times under the Biden administration, so far costing taxpayers $195 billion. This has brought forward our debt ceiling crisis, this continued pause long after the public health emergency has effectively ended. So just last month, the administration filed a proposed rule on income-driven repayment that would eliminate the expectation for student loan borrowers to pay back even the principal on their loans, fundamentally breaking our higher education financing system.
Good afternoon, friends. It is being passed right now. Senate Republican Rick Scott has just announced a brand new bill. And this legislation would affect millions of Americans that qualify for Social Security benefits and Medicare. Republicans have said that this bill would address a debt ceiling and Social Security's funding. My friends, please do me a big favor and watch until the end of this video to hear about all of the details. Also, I will be announcing the 2 winners of yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway at the end of this video. If you'd like to enter next week's giveaway, friends, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you watch and then leave a comment on, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. So Republican Senator Rick Scott announced a new bill to increase funding for Social Security and Medicare, and also to institute a higher standard for making cuts to the entitlement programs, following President Biden's pointed accusations during his annual address before Congress this past Tuesday. Senator Rick Scott said in a press release, "I have been fighting since day one to protect and preserve programs like Medicare and Social Security for Florida's seniors. And today, I am proud to announce new legislation, my Protect Our Seniors Act, to safeguard the benefits of these critical entitlements." The legislation aims to rescind the nearly $80 billion in funding for the Internal Revenue Service that was approved in last year's Inflation Reduction Act and redirect it towards Social Security and Medicare. The IRS funding has been a frequent target of Republicans who have denounced it as creating an army of 87,000 IRS agents. So, dear friends, do you agree with Senator Scott that the $80 billion for the Internal Revenue Service should be rescinded? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The bill would also require that any cuts to Medicare or Social Security be approved by 2/3 vote in Congress, and would block Medicare savings from being used for other spending initiatives. It is still unclear how this legislation fits in with Rick Scott's previous proposal, which has been at the center of the recent dispute with President Biden and Democrats. In an 11-point plan released last February, Senator Rick Scott suggested that all federal legislation should sunset after 5 years, and if a law is worth keeping, Congress can pass it again. This would mean that Social Security and Medicare, like other federal legislation, would need to be renewed by Congress every 5 years. Biden earned a sharp response from Republicans during his annual State of the Union speech on Tuesday, when he suggested that some GOP lawmakers also wanted the entitlement programs to sunset. Although he declined to name specific individuals, President Biden appeared to be pointing to Scott's proposal. After Biden's speech, Rick Scott doubled down on his original proposal and accused Biden of lying about his plan, calling it a dishonest move from a very confused president, even inviting the president to debate him while he visited his home state. The Florida Republican has received lukewarm support from his own party for the original proposal, with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell calling it the Rick Scott plan and not the Republican plan. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts on all of this? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. It is fair to say that many seniors on Social Security have struggled to cover their bills in 2022 due to inflation. The same applied to consumers across the board. But the good thing to come out of rampant inflation was an 8.7% cost of living adjustment for Social Security recipients in 2023. That is the largest raise that beneficiaries have ever received in many decades, and it's well beyond the 5.9% raise that came in 2022. Meanwhile, that 8.7% COLA is already helping seniors on Social Security gain buying power. The rate of inflation has dropped substantially since the COLA got approved in October 2022. And if that trend continues, seniors on Social Security may finally land in a position where they can use some of their benefits to shore up their finances. But while cooling inflation might seem like a good thing for seniors, it could have one major downside, and it's something that Social Security recipients may not be happy about come 2024. Prior to 2022, recent Social Security COLAs had not been much to write home about. But because inflation started to soar in 2021 and then really ramp up in 2022, Social Security benefits were adjusted accordingly. In fact, Social Security COLAs are based on the third quarter data from the CPI-W. In December 2022, the CPI rose 6.3% on an annual basis. That's a notable jump, but it's clearly not nearly a high jump as 8.7%. Meanwhile, there's reason to believe that inflation will continue to cool. Consumer spending is likely to decline this year as borrowers balk at higher interest rates and leftover stimulus funds run out. If that trend persists, this year's 8.7% Social Security COLA might go really far, but that could also lead to a more disappointing COLA in 2024. Well, my amazing and most beautiful friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this afternoon. Friends, thank you so much to each of you for being part of this community and for joining me here every day. The two winners of yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway is Sharon Furman and Diane Randall. Congratulations, my dear friends. Remember, friends, I'll be giving away 2 more Walmart gift cards this coming Friday. Please make sure you enter the giveaway by subscribing to my channel, clicking and liking several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed weekend.